Wow, we're live already. I'm going to try and share this out real quick and see how we do. Okay, I think that's it. Now let me just swap cameras here because, it's been a long day by the looks of it. All right, let's have a look and see what we can see. And just for those folks that do tune in and are wondering why they didn't see a link in Twitter, it appears that there are no longer the ability to share into Twitter, only into Facebook. So I won't be able to do that anymore. At least not that I could find. So there's that. Welcome to the big board. We're going to do a live stream. We're going to have a look at turn 6 of the Army Group Center module for the Eastern Front series or Barbarossa series, depending on what you'd like to call it. And we've done reinforcements. There are no replacements to be had just yet. They don't start until a little bit later. I don't believe. Let me just double check that before I go shoot my mouth off. I think it's next turn or the turn after. It's the July 2nd, 3rd turn. Oh, it is the beginning of the replacement table. Okay, let's roll it by 6. Okay. So I'm going to do the replacements later because that could get a little tedious looking all that up, unless I can find it very quickly on a chart somewhere. I don't think I can. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that later. We will handle replacements later. I've got a bunch of rebuilds to do, so nothing brand new is going to come onto the map this turn, I don't believe. So we should be all kosher and not mess things up too badly. All right, that was a bit of an awkward start. It's the mech move phase. Let's identify all the mechanized units. We can see that we're in a spot of bother here and there. Here's Minsk. And Minsk is under pressure, but not in as bad a shape as it would seem. The actual city hex is here, but I've got Germans out of supply on this side. These guys will be out of supply next turn, or beginning the process to go out of supply. And these fellas here managed to get adjacent to as many German forces as they could to try and prevent a massive attack. We ended up with a minor result here, losing a step as the attacker, and kind of that was about it. So there's that, which is okay, I guess, but it wasn't awesome for the Russians. The Russians made a mistake in that they probably dilly-dallied a little bit in terms of pushing units forward into Minsk. We should have had a much larger stack in here of 10, the equivalent of 10 stacking steps here, but we didn't. We pushed. In fact, there's almost nothing left there, right? There's a HQ and an AA unit. We pushed some units to these roads and trails to prevent the Germans from sort of crossing and advancing and all that sort of fun stuff. And that didn't work out very well. I wasn't able to reinforce those areas strong enough. I wasn't able to supplement what I took out of here with other units. See, you can see here how they were blocked there from reinforcing. I tried bringing units down from this direction. There were some forces here that were overrun, beat down. beatdown anyway. It's just how much of a beatdown is it going to be. Let it be a pretty significant beatdown. I still have some fellas trying to make a minor breakout over here. So we're digging in there the best we can, trying to escape through the woods and marshes, and doing a pretty half-assed job of it. We'll probably move these guys first to see what we can do. And that's probably the bulk of it. The rest of the forces for the Soviets are, you can see, not very close. I've started building up this line where those red meeple thingy looking thingies are. They're magnets. Hold maps in place on a metal board, on a metal holder. So, this is the Smolenskas there in the rear, and this is that, Vitebsk, Mogilev, whatever line. So let's come over here and try and get these guys out of the pickle they're in here. The only hex this chap, he can move to here or here. Both of them are going to cost, actually this will only cost 1, so it's going to be 1 to go to here, 1.5, 2, 3 to here, and then we'll move this guy. Let's do this. Now there's an HQ, he can't move yet. We may abandon him, even though it's going to be 2 VPs. Half, 1, 2.5. They're going to stop there as well. We'll try and screen this dude. 2, 3. There's not. Those guys will probably die. It is what it is. 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5. Here we do 4 to there. That'll help. That guy's taking a step loss. I don't know if you can see that okay. It seems like my hand is, it's the light that I've got working here. Okay, so we've got that going. Let's see. That's some, if not all, of the mechanized units. Dear, we've got a mess up here back by Minsk. Here, we're gonna just rotate the camera down a little bit and hopefully the stand on topple. Because of the balancing, I'll turn this away a little bit. Got a mechanized unit in here. I'm not gonna be able to get him out because he's in he's surrounded by Zocs and he can't move. He can't go from Zoc to Zoc in that condition unless you use infiltration movement, in which he doesn't have the right colored box around his counter to do that, so we can't move him. This guy can move, but we're probably not going to move him, I don't think. Maybe we could push to here. Well, I need to protect this armor. I need to protect this artillery though. So that's not much good to anybody. I do have air this turn, and if I could find a decent opportunity to attack, we could do something useful. But I don't think so. This might be the only possibility here. I got 4, yeah. I got 6 factors. That's not going to help. This is not going to help. Can't move any of that yet. I've got units in the backfield that I will just move out of sight of you. I need to confirm time to allow us to start using road movement. There's a little chart here for that. Got it here somewhere. Because the first several turns they can't move using rail movement. And, well, not rail, sorry, but I mean like road movement rates. I think we're okay now. Road movement, no. Game turns 1 through 5, so we are good to go. In that regard now, so I can move these guys 2 movement points. Using the half movement rate, we can move these guys further. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. We can use strategic movement now too, I believe. So that'll be another 2.5. So they'll get up to Barusk up here. These guys are all infantry and more infantry. In the rear here, I'm all the way back over here. I've got a reinforcement stack here. Now, I do have these units overstacked in the backfield here. Not too fussed about it. We'll get them correctly stacked when the time comes. No armor there that can be moved. And no armor there that can be moved. What I typically do with units like that is I just stack them back to the rear to get them in the correct stacking mode or correct number of stacking points. I do have one engineer unit there underneath the camera. I'm just going to turn him sideways so I remember to do engineering with him later. And hopefully I won't forget. All right, so I have nothing up in the north section that is worth moving at the moment. Although there are some infantry all the way up there that are moving in. So that's the end of the mechanized movement phase, all 6 units of it, or whatever it was. And that means we're going to now go to using the asymmetrical sequence of play, we're now going to move on to the combat phase. And the Soviets are not going to conduct combat this turn because they're chicken shits. It looks like someone might have joined us. Feel free to pop a comment in and say hi if you haven't already. I wasn't looking at the camera. So no combat. Therefore, we won't be using our air. And we will now move to the full movement of all the other units and half movement of the mechanized forces again, if they so choose to do. All right. I'm just going to check and see if there were comments here. I don't think there is. Okay. Yep. All right. Well, welcome. If you wish to say hi, you knock yourself out and do that. I'm going to move units over here, just right. I guess you can't see. Right here, we're going to do a half movement. So we can move 1x, we'll go to there. And these guys, actually, let's do this. We'll go 1, 2 to there. These guys will go 1 to there. Oh, and so notice how I cheated earlier on and moved the HQ, right? So this HQ is here, 1, 2, 3. So he has to really stay in that hex. And if we want to protect it, we're going to have to leave some forces there to protect it. So I will put this chap half, 1, 2 to there, and that will get us into some sort of semblance of normalcy there. We're in a pickle here. We're in a pickle in most of the locations, unfortunately. Let's see if we can't slow these guys down. 1, 2, 3 to there. 1, 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 to there. Well, that's not going to help, really, is it? 1, 1.5 to there. And so let's see. These guys are also in a bit of a pickle here, but we can hold on one more. That's going to go from Zoc to Zoc, so he can't do that. So he's stuck there and won't be able to move. Similarly down here in the Pripyat marshes, we've got the same sort of historical problems that they had. We've got fairly weak units drifting around. I'm trying to do something useful. 1, 2, 3. I didn't move this guy last phase. We'll move him to there. And that's all we can do down here. Up here, it's interesting here. There were some forces here, and the Germans just ran right through them like a hot knife through butter, which was kind of ugly. 1, 2, 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 to there. I got nothing before Baruch. A difficult situation to be in. We're gonna have a look at these guys here. I think the best we can do is try and do a slow down. Put this chap here, and maybe try and exit these guys by going 1. That's gonna be 2, I think. What's this +1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. I might as well just go to here actually. We'll go like this. These guys will go to here. And I'm probably gonna leave. I'm gonna try and work out how I can get some guys into Minsk. I don't know how I can do that though. Yeah, I'm not sure that I can make it happen. 2, 4 to there. Let's see. Two to there. 1, 2, 3 to there. 2, 5 to there, 4 to there. All right, I'm going to back off here, pop back into the city. What a mess! What a mess. 1, 1.5, 2.5 to there. 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Oh, that's an armor unit. We should have moved that earlier. Well, a 5. So we'll do 6 to there. Let's leave it there. So back off into the town. Oh, it's in the town. Leave it there. These units here are slowing things down, so we'll leave them be. It'd be nice to try and get something to block the supply line, but I don't know I can get there. 1, 2, there we go. Maybe try this. 1, 2, 3. That doesn't have a zone of control. 1, 2 for these guys next turn. So that's a win. In fact, that's pretty big in terms of slowing down the war machine for the Germans, and probably a significant mistake on the Germans not to have had a zone of control here. These units with a stripe like this, a yellow stripe, have no zone of control. Wait, what, right here? Is that what it was? I think it was. Okay, all the guys in the backfield, they're kind of toast. And the guys, I'm going to move all of these forces that are coming south. I'm not sure how interesting this will be. Here's some armor we didn't move that we can stick into here pretty easily. That's 4, 5, 6. That's 10 steps there. And we can put another 2, 3, 5 there. So that'll help there a little bit. Sorry, that was right here. And now we're going to move all these fellas. 2, 3. These guys into here. Guys can all move 4, 2, 3, 4, plus strategic movement 5, nicely. We'll put the RT1 back over the bridge. We'll leave those guys there. That's theirs. These chaps. 2, 3, 4 plus 2.5, 5, 6.5 to there. I might drop off. Actually, I've got, yeah. Let's leave one here. One here. Since they can't get that far because they were overstacked. Put that like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half to there. We're also going to turn this guy sideways like this because we want to try and blow that bridge next turn. I think we can't do that till later on. I'm not sure whether it's turn 6 or turn 10 we're allowed to start blowing bridges. Mogilev is a mess. You got 3 factors there. We're going to get a division up into there pretty quickly though. And we'll bring some more fellas in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. Right. My maps are out of alignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go this way, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus the strap move to there. I found a couple of extra armored units that we didn't move, so I'm just moving them. They're both for both phases in the phase. So this is 9 steps. We're going to move these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. These guys go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. These are 10 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. And 5, 60. Okay. Supply dump, I'll move to Smolensk by rail. And from the far top right hand side, which you can't see right now, we will move these guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. 6, 5.5 to there. 6 to there. And you'll follow behind. Right. So there's not a whole lot for the Soviet player to really do other than shuffle stuff forward to get killed. And so you do spend a lot of time pushing units in to really be road bumps. So if you don't have the mental fortitude for that, it can be a bit of a drag for the Soviets. And sometimes I find that I'll really dig in and enjoy the German turn, and it's a bit of a laborious process to go through the Soviet turn because you're really on your back heels a lot of the time, unless you've managed to do some pre-planning and think about how you can consolidate forces to allow for some sort of counterattack. And I thought I'd done an okay job over near the Shara River to the southeast of Grodno. Over here, disappointment to not be able to use that effectively just because of the way the turn sequence works out, and the speed of the enemy makes it a bit of a challenge to be effective with it and have other units around supporting it to soak up combat losses if you indeed suffer poorly. Now, there is one thing that I did do a little bit of just to test it out, and that was to experiment with making 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 attacks with Soviet forces unsupplied or otherwise, just to see the results. Unfortunately, not so good. So you got to roll well. So you can't make crappy attacks and roll poorly. And I was doing both of those for the Soviets for the last 2 turns. We tried doing some of that, and it wasn't particularly effective. So not a particularly riveting turn. We've got a lot of units stuck in around this area that are all in basically the wrong spot. And we have a lot of Germans pressing in. Now, the only benefit is going to be that we've put most of these guys into emergency supply for this turn. And these guys are pressing up on the edge of their supply line, which is right here. That's what the white block is for. And that will make the advance slow down a little bit, which means the Germans will revert back to trying knocking out enemy units. So that's the end of the majority of the game turn for the Soviets. I'm going to go do some administrative stuff now, some engineering bits and pieces. I'm going to go double check the replacements roll that I made. I roll a 6. We'll see what that brings onto the table. It'll put some strong points on the map, probably give me some replacement points that I can use next turn to start rebuilding the Soviet army, which is, as you can see in the massively sensitive zoom area, pretty devastated, or devastated as the case may be. So anyway, that's probably a wrap. That's 27 minutes of me fiddling around. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll talk to all of you all soon. Ciao.